Mama, I have a beautiful daughter you were not able to see with earthly eyes. But I remember long before she was born, you came in a dream to me and said,
"What is the child's name?"
Chieza, Mama.
Is that not a boy's name?
No, Mama. It's a girl's name.
Yes, Mambofu, it is.
So many stories. So many women have stories they never tell.
There are some women in Zimbabwe who write their secrets on little pieces of paper, which we call tutamba. They hide it in a bag or something, which they bequeath to a younger female relative. Only when they are dead can their stories be told.
That is what we are doing. We are telling stories. I am going to be telling you the secret story of Beata, my mother.
Together we are going to tell you
the secrets of a woman's soul.
Musa tambe tambe naye mwanasikana muchidai munongoshora musina kumupa mukana pepukai. Musa tambe tambe naye mwanasikana muchidai munongoshora musina kumupa mukana pepukai.
My name is Shamiso, and I am an orphan. When my parents died, my paternal aunt took me to stay with her. But it wasn't long when she gave me an ultimatum. Either I go and work with her in the streets in the evening, or I go and find a job after school. I thought of trying to find a job, but...
Did you do what she asked you to do?
What do you think I did?
I, Linga, grew up in Glenora, a location on the fringe of Salisbury, which was Harare back then. It's still there. You can go and see it for yourself if you have never seen it. Tiny little houses built on long straight lines, pegged closely together, so much that people used to joke at night that if you so much turn over, you wake up on the neighbor's door. My right next door neighbor was Ropafazo.
My name is Ropafazo, 12 years old. I live with my father and my 3 younger sisters. My mother was staying at the rural areas. Father lost his job because the company he was working for was from overseas, and they closed down and returned to their own country. So I began to try and sell vegetables at the market in order to raise money.
My left-hand neighbor was Maitandi.
Hi, I am Maitandi. My husband had a very good job. He had a lot of money, so he refused to allow me to work. But he was caught stealing money and sent to jail. I was left with no way of supporting myself and my child or pay her school fees. I tried everything I could, but nothing seemed to work out. So, Linga, you still haven't told us.
I will tell you. I will start from the middle, and then we'll come back to the beginning later. I'll tell you the story of Mama Beata, my mother, and Linga, myself as a schoolgirl, and the counselor in my community, where it all started.
But Fafana take up a tender book and go to second Mama 5,000. Hey, what? Hello? Yeah, I'm in a meeting. I'll call you later. Thank you. Hey, now I'm got 2 to get this. I'm busy. I'll call you later. Hey, I bought things. Sharp.
Mama say cancel.
Beata, how are you doing?
I'm well, Councillor.
How is the job going?
So far, so good, Councillor. Thank you so much for asking.
And how is that little girl of yours?
I want to
and her schooling?
She's well.
She's a brilliant girl, that one, eh?
Thank you, Councillor.
Beata.
Say.
You know I've given you a job, right?
Yes, Councillor.
And I'm going to give your daughter one during the school holidays.
Councillor, veduwe, musadaro.
I'm going to pay her school fees, and I'm also going to buy her school uniform. I even have greater plans for you. To promote you.
Councillor, thank you so much, veduwe. Thank you so much, Councillor. That is so thoughtful of you.
But Beata, you know, for things like these to go as planned, there's still some other things that need to be done.
Like what, Councillor?
Young one, you have come. How have it been working here for you? Have you been enjoying yourself?
Yes, sir.
No. Don't call me sir. I'm not that old, eh? So what can I do for you, young one?
As I told you yesterday, on Friday, I have not been paid like the others. And the man who was giving the pay said I should talk to you. You asked me to come back for my money, sir.
Yes. Your arrangement is different. I have to pay you myself. You see, I'm a kind man. So how much is it for a beautiful girl like you? $100? Huh? $100 for a beautiful girl like you. So tell me, what do you want to do when you have finished school?
I want to be a lawyer.
That's clever. I can see you're a clever girl, eh? Beata, you're not a child, yeah? You know the world and it. I scratch your back, now you scratch mine.
What exactly do you want, Councillor? You're a man.
We can't use your place as there is the child.
You also can't use your place as there is your wife. So where?
Go back to work. I will think of something and I'll let you know. I'm glad you have seen reason and found a way in which you can thank me.
As long as I get to keep my job and don't forget the promotion.
That will depend.
Depend on what Futina I can say?
On how good you are at thanking me.
So I guess I'll just have to do my best to thank you. My tabasa, Councillor. And please, don't forget to pay my daughter's school fees. Her education is the only thing that matters, Councillor. And
Okay. Make sure you close the door on your way out. Hello? Now, tell me, how are you going to say thank you for having a job where you can earn money to become a lawyer? There are a lot of girls in your situation, but I have been good to you. Haven't I?
Yes, you have.
And you want your mother to keep her job, don't you?
Yes.
Good. That is a sensible girl. Now, I want you to meet me downstairs at 6 o'clock. Don't come up. Don't be late. Just wait by the cab. Okay? Now, here's your money.
I decided to go to the youth service center first before buying in the councillor's proposition.
Afternoon, how are you? Gara yenyu pasi ndokubatsirai.
So,
at your age, you want us to give you something that will stop you from falling pregnant. My sister, you are still young. Do you even know the dangers of having sex before marriage? Do you? Do you even know what these boys can do? They'll just hit you and they will dump you.
You're right. That's what this guy did to me. Once I got wise to his philandering, just came back to the place we were living together, beat me up and told me to get out after 1 month.
It's not a boy who I'm going to have sex with.
It's not a boy. So who? Why do you need contraception here?
I'm at school and we cannot pay my fees. There's a man who has given my mother and I a job, and in return, he wants me to have sex with him. I can't afford to give up school, so I've decided to do what he wants.
Hey, hayi askana timboshke kunombonzwa. Hayi mashura. Aiwa. Askana timboshika ikani. Hayi mashura askana. Askana wewe. Askana. Contraception is Haruda contraception izvezvi hanzi kunedhara
anoziva kuti vana ndo vanodedza mina vanoti mablesa
shogwa icho asikana
atsada kuishandisa
havenodhara
zvinorwadza so touching
zvandaona pano zvinoreva asikana
Here you are.
Just read the instructions at the back.
Thank you.
I learned the bitter lesson that people will share your problems with their friends, talk about it, and feel sorry for you, but no one will lift a finger to help you. At first, I put the counselor off by saying that I was having my monthly period, but eventually I had to do what he wanted.
So you did it with that dirty old man?
I didn't tell you what happened to me when I failed to get a job. My aunt then found me a man who had money and he was prepared to roar me. I too had no choice. The men used to beat me around. They raped me. I too was still a virgin. And he was much older than me. I know what you must have felt, Linga.
He took me to Hotel Elizabeth. Yes, it happened. It happened to me physically. But my inner self didn't even know that it was happening. For all these years, I had kept my father's advice. Unlike Chipo and Noma, I'd kept away from trousers because I didn't want to end up in the rubbish dump. But where was I now? The rubbish dump.
What happened to Chipo and Noma? And who were they to you, Linga?
They were my childhood friends. In fact, the streets were our playground. The games that we played required us to have close contact with the sand.
I'm tired of playing. I'm going home. Yeah, Jafunga. Let's play Mahumbe. Daddy. Sometimes boys play mommy. Never. Boys don't play mommy. Girls don't play daddy. Never has it. Alright then. I'm the mommy. And I'm Sisi. So that means I'll be the child. Alright then, let the men cook child and the men go to the bar. Sisi, you go and do the washing. You are a boy, so go and fetch water. Me fetch water. Boys don't fetch water. Alright then, you go and cut wood. You go and fetch water. And you go and get cooking oil. My boy, what are you doing? I was cooking salsa, Baba. If only you could cook something nice. Your salsa is important, full of lumps. I'm not going to eat salsa in this place when I can get something better somewhere else. Look what he's done. He's made a mess of everything. Let's put things back where they were. Now there's my mother calling me and I'm full of mud.
China yesei na iwe. Huh? Look at you. Kucha unge dongera ngati umruka mataka umo. Tarisa kuno. I don't like that. Wazhinzwa. Anyway, look what I bought you.
My tapas. They are so nice. This one is for the relish and this one is for the salsa.
Oh, Chinda imnotamba mukurumidze kudzoka.
All right. Potere aya ende akanaka. Ingazako, my mother yet never bought me anything like this because she says she does not have money. That's not all. She also gave me cooking oil and mealie meal. Let's play with them right now.
My childhood was full of fun with Chipo and Noma and the other children. Even memories of my mother from that time were full of fun, gaiety and spontaneity. I remember one particular moment with a mama and our sis Mucha. I think I was about only 6 or 7 years old then.
You guys. You know what it is.
Even in the shower, they're still dancing.
Life was beautiful. We lost our childhood innocence. Noma got pregnant when she was 15, and 2 children later died from an AIDS-related illness. Chipo had an abortion that went terribly wrong when she was in her early 20s. She had to be rushed to the hospital with the head and shoulder of a male fetus hanging on her vagina. She could never conceive again. She too died from an AIDS-related illness.
What are we in this world? What does the world hold for us? Already so many women are dead, and they are not even here to tell their stories.
Can we say we are lucky? We are here telling our story, and you, Linga, telling us the stories of those who you grew up with.
Linga, there is still a lot you need to tell us. Yes, Beata was your mother. Was it because your mother was a single mom that the counselor had to pursue both of you?
Yes, and where was your father in all this?
This is a photo of my mother taken during the 60s. She had been sent by her father to a mission school in southern Rhodesia from the 1st grade until standard 6. My mother had the best education there was for Africans at that time. After standard 6, she enrolled in nursing school in northern Rhodesia. But her life took a different turn. Her youthful carelessness landed her pregnant to a handsome taxi driver from Nyasaland named Daudi, my father. They had 3 children, my 2 brothers and I. My mother and father used to step out and go for a party whenever they are happy. But the fights between them became more frequent and worse.
Amazon. Nazi. Ini ndanakizwa.
Aiwa pane vanhu vanoita anonzi mapati. Mabazoti. Aiwa, I enjoyed myself. Did you see suit yanga yakapfekwa nababa Chipo? Babazoti, pane vanhu vanopfeka mucheka nemota yavo simushambara. Aiwa, there are people who are there things baba.
Iwe. Zwasutu nemota ya baba Chipo zine inewe manje.
I'm just saying it doesn't mean anything, Babazoti. Kungo commenta zvangu.
Uri mukazi ruzi.
Babazoti. Kuita seiko. ini baba Zondi manje. Musadaro kani. Baba Zondi kune vanhu
Uyakuno. Uyakuno.
Baba Zondi.
Uyakuno.
Baba Zondi.
Uyakuno.
Baba Zondi. Ndikaindaro mani.
Pinda mumba manje.
Kimi mani.
Nonsense.
The fight got worse and worse.
Iva pano. Iva.
Musadaro kani baba.
Takura zinu zako Iva. Iva. Come on, Iva.
But eventually, my father banished my mother to his rural home in Malawi and told her to leave me behind. He then took in another young wife, but he could not bash her like he bashed my mother because she had a family living nearby and 3 hefty brothers. Though he constantly beat my mother, my father had never laid a finger on the new wife. In another contradiction, my father sent my mother into the dust and sent her into exile, but kept me where there were opportunities and gave me a vision in life. My father beat my mother and broke her heart, but he kept me where there were opportunities and gave me a vision in life and promised that if ever there is a man who dare make his daughter cry, will have to face his wrath. Another turning point in our relationship was one day when...
Atata, why is my letter open?
Because I opened it.
But why Atata?
I am your father. I have a right to open each and every letter that comes into this house.
But the letter was addressed to me, Atata. The name on the envelope says Linga.
Yeah, so?
So it means it is I who has to open it.
What are you afraid that I might see? What are you afraid that I might see, huh? Urukita sama boyfriends. Urukita sama boyfriends.
Atata, I spend 3 months at a time away at body. Even if I wanted to see boys, I have a lot of time to do that and come back home and pretend to be a good girl, and you would never know. You should trust me that I'm not seeing boys. Didn't you yourself tell me to steer clear of trousers if I want to avoid the dustbin?
But urindi point, man. You have a point. Anchazo sokoroza manje. I will not open anyone's letter from today.
My father died when his truck turned over and bent to the ground. My mother came back to Harare. I did not write to her, but I imagined that when I see her after all this time, I'll just say, "Hello, Mama, how have you been?" But when I did see her, it was a different story.
Mama!
Baby! Oh, my baby. Huh?
It's good to have you back, Mama.
I missed you too, mwanangu. Koma kuchemei futi mwene wacho. Huh? It's okay. I'm here now. Chiriga kuchema kani. Chiriga kuchema. It's okay, mwene wacho. Chinyarara. It's okay, mwanangu.
Look at what I'm doing at school.
It's science, kai.
There is this teacher, Miss Mpofwa, Mom. She likes me a lot. She says my work is good. So I try especially hard to do well in her class.
See, this is good, mwene wacho, huh?
It's good to have you back, Mom.
It's good to see you too, mwanangu.
My mother coming back after my Atata had died. There was a reason behind. That is why a rift developed between me and her when she told me that she wanted to sell the house and take me back to Malawi.
Linga!
Mama!
Oh, yeah?
Martin?
Linga, mwanangu. Mandiri kuzviziva kuti baba vako vakashaya. Saka I was just thinking, mwanangu, kuti we sell the house. Then we can go back and relocate Tese as a family back to Malawi.
Ayewa.
Why not food?
Because I want to go to university and study law.
Nai mwanangu. You can see we are already struggling to pay for your high school fees. How do you propose we pay for your university fees, nai mwanangu?
I don't know. Somehow, we'll make a plan.
That's being selfish. And you have been enjoying life in Zimbabwe with your father, while me and your brothers were suffering in Malawi. Now at least they have an opportunity to enjoy your Maria your father. Auntie, I want to go to university. Whether you like it or not, we are going to Malawi.
I'm not stopping you. If the house is what you want, then go ahead and sell it. Take all the money. I don't care. You were not here when I did my schooling up to this point, and I managed by myself. I got 9 O-level passes without your support, and if I have to, I can go to university without you. My father said I should go to university, and I am going to. If I fail or succeed, it will be none of your concern because I will no longer be your daughter.
If your father wanted you to go to university, you should have left enough money for you, man.
So sorry about your mother and the passing of your father. But Linga, that was a brave stand you took.
How did your mother take it? You refusing to go back to Malawi.
Was it not better going than to stay? You could have still studied law in Malawi.
I had my reasons why I didn't want to go. But to my surprise, my mother never communicated her decision to me. And she stayed. She did not sell the house. In fact, she took in lodgers. Lodgers in all the rooms except the living room. Lodgers in the bedroom and the spare bedroom and in the kitchen. We took turns to go out and eat at relatives' house. My mother begged and borrowed, with hardly no success. She approached the municipality for a store at the market and sold vegetables. I helped her as much as I could. In fact, I was very good at selling. I sold much more than she did. But it wasn't all work. Whenever my mother and I were together, she used to share a lot of advice with me.
Linga manangu,
Ma?
if ever you catch a man cheating, don't confront the other woman. Hey, don't give a man the satisfaction of knowing that you are fighting over him. Hey, Chako, just hold your head up high and walk away with your dignity intact. Hey, dignity is the one card that is going to get you through the pain and the hate. What to move on with your life? If you lose dignity, what will you have left? Apana. Linga wanangu, you must always be yourself. And speak your mind. You are very intelligent. I spent 20 years of my life satisfying and pleasing a man. And when it satisfied him, you sent me packing, kicked me out. I was on the street manangu roaming around. Kutoita Zimada street jairo. Can you imagine? But what I regretted was the fact that I never got an opportunity to tell him what kind of a man he really was and what I thought in my mind. You know, if a man is going to dump you, he will dump you. Whether you're a queen bitchy or you're a doormat. Saka, every time wanangu, give yourself iwewe the satisfaction of knowing that you spoke your mind and you did things the way that you wanted. Hey, every time.
Sometimes she gave me good advice by what she said to others. For instance, we girls were strictly forbidden to do chores for the boys.
Oh, Mama.
Hey, they will marry you just because they want someone to clean for them and to wash for them. Imagine getting married because they want you to be washing machine.
When my brother Mayola got his girlfriend pregnant, he wanted to marry her and bring her into the house. This is what she said to him.
Ayo, that's okay, my boy. That's okay. Hey. Opportunities that I gave you plenty of opportunities. Apprentice, I paid for you. I sacrificed so much for you. College, opportunities, everything. Ukaona mkomana Linga. Ukaona mkomana now able to have sex and make a girl pregnant. What you have to do, my boy, now is to just get out of my house. Go and look for a house for yourself.
Hey, Buddha. Urwinda kupi wewe? Urwinda kupi?
Linga manangu. The 11th commandment of every woman. Thou shalt not rush into marriage. Washinzwa manangu. Hey, thou shalt take your time. Enjoy your independence. See the world. Thou shalt take your time. Wazhinzwa? And thou shalt reserve the right to be picky when choosing a man. After all, you have nothing to lose than an unsuitable man. Wazhinzwa? Hey, take your time.
And Mayola moved out.
Take your time.
But this did not solve the money problem, and the situation got worse and worse. So my mother went to see the local councillor to see if he could help. The councillor unexpectedly took it on himself to verify the claim of destitution and visit, a visit that was to have a momentous impact on our lives.
What's
vakadzena
makadini
aiwa tiri zvedu ndimi kamatitsika kunonaya kudai
kwaisu tingatiye kunaiwe here isusu
munongotye muchifamba makagara
tati timbokutsika ika timboona pamunogara
aiwa magona regai timbokutaridza imba yacho tisati tazorora
ndizvozvo
uyei nechekunoku
okay
umu mukicheni umu
okay
munogara baba adanai nemhuri yavo
mati mukicheni
mukicheni nevana vavo 5
okay
zvinhu zvacho umu mubedroom tsanada room
okay
munogara baba Francis nemudzimai wavo 1 nevana vavo 9
okay
then umu ndeimwe futi bedroom umu munogara baba vamarombo nemudzimai wavo nevana vavo 7
okay
isusu tiri muno zvedu mudaini
zvakaoma pamunogara pano
ivi otherwise kwakadii kwamabva
kungokiya
zvinhu zvacho
saka mati mune mwana wamunobhadharira chikoro
ari kuhigh school
kuhigh school don't worry basa ndokupai kucity council
kansela musadaro shuwa here kansela maita basa veduwe mandibvira nepi Linga uya kanetiya vakansela uye nemukaka futi maita basa kansela gamuchirai zvenyu tii
makadiwa kansela
tiri pedu makadiwa
masiya kuchinaya here kumaraini kwenyu
ndizvozvo
mvura yacho iri kurambira mudenga
You have a very beautiful daughter. In fact, you don't have to worry about anything. I'll pay her school fees, I'll buy her school uniform, I'll even give her a job over the school holidays.
Thank you so much, vakansela tenda kana mwanangu. Maita basa.
You can even come over to my office over the weekend and I'll show you what to do. What's your name? By the way,
anonzi Linga kansela.
Linga. Yes, Linga. You can come to my office over the weekend and I'll show you what to do.
Yes, vakansela.
Ende kuna mwari kudenga kansela mena kuti nasi matibvira nepi aiwa maita basa mugarire kure nemoto.
I must go.
So soon kansela kwa muri kumanyirei.
Koisi tiri vanhu vematire kai.
Aiwa ndizvo.
Ma errands.
Aiwa mugarire kure nemoto maita basa.
Mosara zvakanaka.
Aiwa ndizvozvo. Linga sumuka. Uperekedze vakansela vandi. Wokurumidza kudzoka.
Your mother tells me that you are a very clever girl. We must see you continue with your education. Isn't it that right, Linga?
So we see now, that is when it all started.
Can we say at the most when we are vulnerable, we make the biggest mistakes of our lives? Is that true?
What do you think? Is there another way out of this situation we've gotten ourselves into?
I felt ashamed, my spirit declothed, abused and left to elements. That old man with his fetid breath, puny body, and shrunken thighs like a limp rag on top of me took my essence. And in return, he gave me his sickness. I lived with the pain and secrets until I finished school. Years later, when I had graduated as a lawyer, and my mother and I were sitting, that is the only time when the subject came up.
How is work, Maswanda, mwanangu?
I'm doing fine, Mama. I'm fine.
You've come a long way, mwanangu. Kwawabva? Aiwa ndokure mwanangu.
We have both come a long way, Mama. Since those days, eh?
We have the counselor to thank you, mwanangu. Totombo vatenda vacounselor for everything that he did for us.
I hope so. How would you have paid my school fees? He gave you a job, and me too. But Mama, did you know that old God made me pay for that job?
You lie.
I tell you, haven't you often wondered those little secret chats he used to have whenever he came to visit? He was just an old chipstick. He didn't even want to book a hotel those days.
I used to wonder why every time when you came back with the counselor waibowananga ku bathroom kunogeza, you never used to like bathing guy wewe. That bastard. He was using both of us. But what were we going to do, Naimanangu? It was either that or no job for me and no school fees for you. But he sooner got fed up of me.
He never got tired of me. I tell you. But the day I was finally free from him, when I had my results, when he came to visit, you could see that I was no longer mid. He offered me more money and begged me to come back, but I just stopped working for him.
You were now independent,
And I remember the day I graduated. Mama,
best day of my life.
I waved at you. It was only the two of us who knew in that packed hall the journey that we had traveled, the sacrifices that we had made. I was free. But Mama,
Yes, my daughter.
what did you do when you find out that old God infected you with STI?
You, the younger generations, ndimi maigona kumanya and seek for treatment. What did you do?
You have an STI.
Do you mean VD, a venereal disease?
No, we now call it STI, sexual transmitted infection. And your particular STI is called gonorrhea.
That is a disease that men who go to shabins and have sex with prostitutes get.
No, it is a disease that you get when you have sex with an infected person. And when we treat you, we recommend that you bring your partner so we can treat both of you.
I don't think you'll be willing to come.
Nah, it's okay. I'll give you an injection and you have to come for 6 more, okay? And I'd advise you to use condoms in future when you have sex with your partner, okay?
I will.
Thank you. You may go now.
What is this? What is this discharge? That bastard counselor, you should have given it to me. It's an STI. Kumana ndoita sei manje. I can't go to the clinic at my age when we're not good. Certain things are better unseen and unsaid.
So, Linga, you mean you got an STI and your mother too? That man was having both of you.
And you mean your mother never went for treatment?
My heart wept for my mother and all the women of her generation who had endured the ravages of ignorance and stigmatization in a self-righteous, morally bankrupt society.
This closed cupboard of a society.
A door that opened into a cabinet closet, fitted with secrets and shame. Mangled infants, mutilated little girls scream, muffled by outside hands, bruised lips shushed with sweets or threats of the cutting knives, wives and sweethearts forced to open up to organs, festering in sores, dripping pus, a story kept for life, afraid to tell.
Fathers that sire with their daughters, faith healers, old abandoned women in their hearts, bones cracking and snapping in the dark of nights, housemaids, factory workers, secretaries, students working extra hours on their backs and knees, forced by threats, dismissal or failure.
Rabbits trapped in the glare, thrown by the wayside, flapping and sliding through the slime behind the closet door, the fetid, rotting air of the closet of shameful secrets society refuses to face.
Afraid of the mirror, afraid of what it will see. The blood, the tears of the innocent, the silent screams, the pleading eyes, their own collusion in the horrors of that closet.
It sounds like time to tell the truth. Linga, we talked about priests, faith healers, and ngangas. Well, you must remember when my husband was sent to jail. I was left with no way of supporting my family. I tried a few things, but nothing worked. I went to a local priest to ask for help, advice, or anything. He gave his advice. He was prepared to help at a price. Hanzi kuti atibatsire, tofana kumpa mwana wangu mudiki msikana kuti ave mudzimai wake.
After a single experience of a sexual transmitted disease, I took no chances when it came to sex. On my wardrobe was a cartoon of a condom head and not a smile with a bubble reading, "I can keep AIDS out, can you?" But sometimes when I was alone at night, I wondered and feared. I panicked when my mother told me that she had been diagnosed positive. I wasn't prepared to look into the mirrors, best alone to let sleeping dogs lie. At 32, I said I do, but the past had followed us. I thought of all the starvations and diets our mama used to have. I wondered if it had something to do with how quickly she deteriorated later and she got ill. I had to do something about my mother. The doctor asked my mother to ask me to come and see her, and I went.
Are you aware of your mother's situation?
Yes, doctor.
So what are you going to do about it? You have options. The best I can recommend is a cocktail of drugs that will reverse her symptoms and keep her alive.
I know about the cocktail, doctor.
It's expensive.
Well, I think with my salary, I can afford it.
Okay, if you can afford it, I'll write out your prescription. There's nothing to fear. AIDS need not to kill anymore. You can get these cocktail drugs just like anyone else with BP or diabetes.
The following month, the cost of medication went up. And the next month, soon it was swallowing up my whole salary. How could I tell you that I could no longer afford it? But I had to. I died inside as I watched a face register with fear and pain. I was virtually pulling the plug on her. At the same time, I had my own struggles in my own marriage. At 34, I decided to have a baby, and slowly everything started to unfold.
That's the problem with you professional women. You spend years avoiding having babies. And when you decide you want them, you check by the hour. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. I'm still not pregnant. Be patient. Babies also decide whether they want to be born or not. You know, right?
Yes, doctor. But I cannot afford to go on being patient. Why can't I get pregnant? Is there something wrong with my ovaries?
No, there's nothing wrong with your ovaries. We have had these tested. But are you suffering from TB or something?
No. Why are you asking?
Because there are red flags in your results which indicate that your body is fighting a major illness.
Nothing I know of. I got worried. I remembered I've always donated blood, but they just stopped calling me. The memory of the STI came back and hits me like a tsunami. Should I talk to my husband? I couldn't just say, hey, I need to get tested. I remember he had been tested a year before for life insurance and it came up negative. How could I be positive when my husband is negative? What if I got pregnant? What about my baby? Why bother trouble before she knocked on your door? But there was a loud knocking on the door and someone had to answer it.
I hope you went and got tested.
Why? I was worried what I could find out. I was worried what would happen to my home.
That's natural. After my aunt fixed me up with that old man, I just couldn't stand it. So I decided to run away. Then I found myself a job. I was now working for myself, but I felt ill. So then the doctors told me to go and get tested for HIV. I was frightened like you were at the first, but then I just got tested. Yes, I am positive, and I am positive about being positive. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. No working on the streets, no more old man marriages, and I feel good. I know my status.
Maswera what's going on?
I went for testing today.
Testing? Testing for what?
For HIV.
HIV? And then?
I'm positive.
Positive? No. No. No! It can't be true. It can't be true. My life, my marriage, it is ruined. Ruined. This can't be happening to people like us. Other people, yes, but not us. This can't be happening. Why did you go get tested?
I wanted to know.
And now? Why now? Why now? We were fine all along. This can't be happening. This cannot be happening.
To cut the long story short, we both went for testing. My husband was still negative. When my baby was born, she too was negative. My husband and I tried to make it work, but the strain was too much for us, and we separated on my daughter's first birthday, Chieza. A year later, we got divorced. One day, when I was talking to my friend Rufaro, this is what she said to me.
You might want to disclose your condition, Linga.
To whom? And why?
People, your friends anyway. It's the right thing to do.
Is it? Is that so?
Well, people have a right to know.
What about my right not to tell them? Does that not count?
It is an infectious disease, and it kills, my friend.
Come off it. It's not like it's an airborne. TB is also infectious and it kills, but nobody demands that they disclose their condition to anyone.
The thing is, you see, with HIV, it is different. Disclosing helps to destigmatize it, and it also helps people deal with it better.
Sometimes it just makes me go mad. Everyone tells you to disclose your status, but there's no one there to offer treatment. If all we could disclose our status, everyone who could be in a queue for antiretrovirus, we wouldn't be having this conversation, my friend. I'll go and disclose to anyone who is willing to listen to me. Chop, chop.
I thought living positively is disclosing your status.
Hey, and what does that mean? Living positively? The adverts shows that people testing negative, getting married and having children. Those that test positive are told to eat sweet potatoes, pumpkins. Is that all that is for living positively? There's something wrong with that picture. And we are so surprised that people don't want to get tested and disclose their status.
Linga. My mother died on Wednesday, 10th April 2002. She was 56 years old. There had been 15 years of nursing a sexually transmitted disease. By not seeking treatment for the STI, Beata had enabled the HIV virus to thrive in her body. She got TB and told no one. She got cancer, but a friend persuaded her not to go for the treatment. In the closet, the stigma feeds on secrets. People die from secrets. Rufaro was right. I should have known. I refused to remain in the closet. I refused to turn truth into falsehood by keeping it secret. I disclosed my status. After my mother's funeral, I vowed I'll tell people about my mother too. I'll tell the whole world about my mother, about her life, about her struggle, and how humanity failed her as it has many millions others like her. And I'll tell you how humanity should be ashamed of itself. Nature does not care about who did what and when. It just heals. If only one stands long enough to let it. I felt the warm sun on my head and the cool breeze of the wind as it rustled the grass on her grave. Mama, it is going to be all right.
Musa tambe tambe naye mwanasikana muchidai munongoshora musina kumupa mukana pepukai. Musa tambe tambe naye mwanasikana muchidai munongoshora musina kumupa mukana pepukai.
Shamiso.
It's going to be all right.
Ropafato.
It's going to be all right.
Maitandi.
It's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right. Secrets of a woman's soul.
Kuma